Is there anything better than a late night bombazzo? The best player in the world about to sign a contract extension with Manchester City until 2029. Just drink it in, people. These are the times of our lives. Yes, it's been a bad season, but Rodri reportedly on the brink of penning a new deal with the Blues. Oh, beautiful. Welcome back to the City Ramble. If you are new around here, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. We're looking to grow this channel as much as we can. Plenty of content throughout the season. Transfers, City-related stuff, all of the wonderful business regarding this club. And I mean, I was ready to go to bed. I just watched the Champions League final. I'd done a few videos for TikTok. I was ready to go to bed. And then bombazzo, alert, news comes through. City Extra notification. Rodri is looking at penning a new contract with Manchester City until the year 2029. Guys, that is 4 years away. 4 more years of the Ballon d'Or winner. These are the details that we know so far. It's been reported by the Daily Mirror that Rodri has been offered a salary around £300,000 a week, at least over that, in fact, and he will become the club's second biggest earner behind none other than Erling Braut Haaland. I mean, is there a more deserving name to be getting such a contract deal? And I don't think it's a coincidence, the fact that City have just let Kevin De Bruyne go, in my opinion, the greatest player in the club's history. But that's going to free up wages. That's going to free up some money, for example, to give this man the deal that he probably wants and he probably deserves, let's face it. Granted, he has been out with an ACL injury for the entire season, but that's probably strengthened his negotiation because look at how bad City have been, in midfield especially, but the team in general. There's been a lack of goals. They've been conceding goals for fun. The midfielders look dysfunctional. Who is the man that knits it all together? It is this guy. And I mean, for me anyway, just the way I like to watch football, the way I like to consume football, he's the sort of player I love to watch. I've been privileged to have been in the stadium for, I don't know at this point, probably close to 100 matches watching Rodri play. And he is one of those players, it sounds like a cliche, but you only truly get to appreciate what this guy brings when you see him in the flesh, when you see him scanning the shoulder, when you see him receiving the ball in the half turn, when you see those absolute thunderbolts from the edge of the box that go flying into the top corner. Again, in Istanbul, the guy that when City needed somebody to put them on their shoulders, he was the guy to drag City towards the finish line. And I've actually got a question for the chat, so hit the comment section. Do we think Rodri was better in the 2023 season, the season that City won the treble? Obviously, Rodri gets the goal in Istanbul in the Champions League final against Inter Milan. Or do we think he was better the season he went, what was it, something like 90 games unbeaten, something ridiculous like that throughout the 23-24 season? Let me know. To be fair, both versions of Rodri were genuinely sensational, but I'm interested to see which sort of which season people preferred. I don't know my opinion necessarily, but I may be edging towards 23-24 just because it felt like alongside Phil Foden that season, he really dragged City towards the league title. In 2023, he was up there. He was one of the most important, but there was also Erling Haaland breaking goal-scoring records. There was Kevin De Bruyne having one of the best seasons of his career, sorry. Yeah, just like the importance of this guy, the fact that we're debating between a treble season and a 4-in-a-row season as what was his best campaign, that is exactly why he's being paid £300,000 a week. And I have to say, it's a relief for me because I'll let you in on a secret. At the start of this season, I'm not necessarily the sort of guy who buys brand new shirts at the start of every season. If a kit's good, like this one, the treble season, I got that as soon as it came out. Didn't know it was going to be the treble season, but even still, what an investment. That's going to be one that I have forever. But at the start of this season, I moved into this sort of office studio and I got this shirt, as you can see, also the third one as well. But I got this shirt, obviously, 99 remake. And if I do a quick swivel, you can maybe see on the back of it, was Rodri. Now, this was before he did his ACL. So can you imagine the guilt I had when he went down with a season-ending injury and he has never worn this shirt? He's probably never going to wear this shirt. So I'm just glad that he's putting his name down on a contract extension, because it doesn't mean that the reason that Rodri's going to, I don't know, leave Manchester City is because for some silly reason I got his name on a shirt. So that's a relief for me personally. But just back to the main point, I mean, just so happy. And I think since the season has ended, to be fair, possibly a couple of weeks before, when we started getting the news that City were looking at certain players, they were going to have a big window, it feels like the moves that they are making have been fantastic. They have been front foot sort of moves that you want to see your football club make, especially after the sort of season that City had. And yes, let's not lose sight. They still finished third. They qualified for the Champions League. They made the FA Cup final, but it wasn't the sort of expectation, the standard that this club has set. So to see how proactive they've been in the first couple of weeks since the season started dwindling down, I think is amazing. And just picking up on a couple of the other points there, we're getting news that City could have Tijani Reinders locked and loaded for the Club World Cup, along with Lyon's Ryan Cherki. And just look at the numbers there. 60 million for Reinders, £35 million for Ryan Cherki. That's less than £100 million. And I don't want to be that guy that sits here with blue-tinted glasses and says that, oh, well, City have got a better deal for these two than Liverpool have got for Florian Wirtz. Because let's face it, we all wanted Florian Wirtz. But am I going to sit here and say that City have got a better deal? Because, I don't know, two players for less than the price of one seems pretty good business to me. Ryan Cherki, obviously, Tijani Reinders, if you haven't watched it already, there's a video on the City Ramble YouTube channel where I go through and I sort of deconstruct what we can expect for Tijani Reinders. If you'd like to see something similar for Ryan Cherki, let me know in the comment section. You can look at sorting that over the weekend. But in terms of Cherki, for me, he is that Jogo Bonito player, that player that gets you off your seat, gets you on your feet, gets you sort of falling in love with the game. And that's something that I think City have certainly lacked this season, especially that maverick, that mercurial player, the person who's going to get the ball and make something happen. For me, it's been far too predictable. Tijani Reinders is a fantastic midfield asset, as I spoke about in the video. Again, another plug for it. Make sure to check it out after this one if you haven't already. And less than £100 million for those two players. Off the top of my head, Tijani Reinders possibly around 26 years old. I think that's about right. Ryan Cherki's 21. He doesn't turn 22 until August. So that is investment for the future. And again, going back to the main point of this video, speaking about this guy, Rodri, it is time, in my opinion, to get excited, because another move that City have made that I'll touch on quickly before signing off, because it is late. We've come on straight after the Champions League final. I'm up early doors on Sunday for work, so I'll keep it brief. But Pep Lijnders, like, who saw that coming? Who saw City appointing the man, the right-hand man to Jurgen Klopp when Jurgen Klopp was having so much success with Liverpool? The guy whose philosophy has kind of focused around counter-pressing, gegenpressing, that sort of heavy metal football. Who saw him coming in as Pep Guardiola's assistant? But what I will say, I think that's a real statement move from City, from Guardiola, and an admission perhaps that things had gone a bit stale. Ideas had not necessarily been moving on as they should have been. That things behind the scenes were maybe a little flat. Maybe they did need spicing up a bit. And I tell you what, I tell you for nothing, Pep Lijnders isn't going to be yes man to Pep Guardiola. I think it would have been easy for City and Guardiola to appoint a Pep Guardiola disciple, perhaps one of his former players who's going to think the game is played the same way. Pep Lijnders, at least on the surface, is very different to that. And he isn't, I'm not saying Pep Lijnders is going to come in and be the puppet master and he's going to have the ideas and he's going to explain it and, he's going to make the decisions in the dressing. That isn't going to be the case. He's going to only feed ideas to Guardiola. But I think that's what City need right now. I think City need a bit of a different voice. And I think that's what Pep needs. I think Pep Guardiola needs somebody who's going to be there and say, no, Pep, I don't think this is the right idea. I think we have to be proactive with the press. I think we have to be a little bit sturdy. You know, whatever it might be, I think that's what City are going to look at, and that's what Pep Lijnders is going to look at bringing in. So yeah, an incredible time, an exciting time. What a week this has been. Who knows what sort of bombazzo we'll be waking up to tomorrow. But the main talking points to begin with: Rodri looking like he's going to sign a contract extension. Ryan Shirky and Tajani Reinders looking like they're going to be signed before the Club World Cup. And City signing Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp's right-hand man, to be Pep Guardiola's assistant manager. Buckle in, people. Make sure you subscribe to the City Ramble, because we will be keeping you across all of the news throughout the summer. And until next time, it has been a pleasure. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to get to bed. We will see you later.